guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I collabed with SparkSketch and we did a no-see swap. So I drew her OC Ari Parrish from her original story, The Paradox Society, and I also drew her OC Monica Monroe from her original story, The Ghost Box. Let's get straight onto it with the first speed paint, which is of Ari Parrish from The Paradox Society. The Paradox Society is set in an apocalyptic world where this hard-to-survive deadly virus got out. Ari is one of the few survivors of the virus, and if you survive the virus, you get like white streaks in your hair or your eyes turn white. Ari is a shy loner. She doesn't want help and she doesn't want to talk to people or be with people. But once she catches the virus, she meets other people who have caught the virus and she has to learn how to talk to people and be more social. Spark told me that she's kind of scrapped Ari's story, but that she still really likes Ari's character and her design, so she's still her OC, but she doesn't really think about or build upon the Paradox Society very much anymore. Okay, so that was a little bit about Ari and the Paradox Society, but now let's talk about the drawing. So this speed paint footage was like originally an hour long, and I had to cut it down and speed it up a lot. So there's certain parts of the process I had to skip. Like at the beginning, I couldn't show the speed paint of the actual sketching part because the video was way too long. So I'm doing the line art here, and I'm actually really proud of how this line art turned out. Like, I feel like it looks really good. The hair was really fun. When SparkSketch sent me the picture of Ari, I was really excited because her bangs and the tufts of hair in front of her ears looked like so much fun to draw flowing in the wind. And when I draw something flowing in the wind, I feel like the best strategy, at least for me, is to draw it straight first and then go to use the liquefy tool and like push it. And then it just kind of like pushes in the direction that the wind is going, and it looks so good. Ari's whole design in general is like so pretty and she's so cute and all the colors go together really well. Spark has amazing character design. You should definitely go check her out if you like watching art and character stuff. Like, her character design is incredible. Ari's eyes were hard because shading brown eyes is like really difficult for me. I don't even know why, it just is. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the hair shading because it was so long I actually had to skip it. But when I shade hair, I like to use the gouache brush in Procreate, and I will like do the shadows first like I'm doing right here, and then I'll blend it out a little bit, and like I'll blend with the gouache brush and I'll make it small, and I'll try to do it like hair strands, but it like really comes together when I do the highlights, which is when I put little things of gouache like I'm doing right now everywhere, and then I blend it out really small to make it look like hair strands. Oh, there it is. I had to cut it out because it took forever, but I feel like it ends up looking pretty good. That's kind of how I shade hair right now, but that can always change. It usually does. The hair is probably the most complicated part of all of my drawings because the eyes I kind of got down to a science, and the skin shading is really simple. So the idea for this illustration is that Ari is standing in like a thunderstorm. At first I didn't really know what to make Ari doing, but then I looked at the reference Spark sent me more, and I saw that it kind of looked like that Ari was in a thunderstorm. So I thought that would be fun to draw. So I try to make the background look dark and thunderstormy, I guess, and then I add some lightning with different textured brushes, and then like one big lightning bolt with a glowing brush so that I could add like lighting right there. I like adding lighting to stuff. So here I'm doing the lighting. I apply a dark blue in front of her to make it look darker, and then I give her some backlighting since the lightning is behind her. And then I added rain using a brush that came with Procreate and just putting it everywhere with different color blue. And then I went to the like magic wand thing and I set it to motion blur and I blurred it. And here's the finished illustration of Ari. I hope you like it, Spark. Okay, and now we're going to do Monica Monroe from Spark's story, The Ghost Box. So before I start talking about the drawing, I'm going to talk a little bit about the setting of the story and the character. So Monica lives in a small, eerie town that's full of ghost stories and strange occurrences. She wants to be a newspaper writer and like a journalist. She has a newspaper shop in her mother's coffee shop called The Ghost Box. So kind of the plot of the story is Monica is trying to find out what happened to this girl named Miley White, who disappeared from the town months before Monica moved there, and everyone says she's a ghost and that she just disappeared one day, and so Monica's trying to find out what happened. Monica's never really had very many friends. She kind of likes to stick to her goals, and she doesn't like for anything to get in the way. But when she moves to this town, she starts to make friends, and she has to find the balance between keeping her friends and trying to learn more about Miley. So now that you know a little bit about Monica's backstory, let's talk about the drawing. So the reason the speed paint started off with shading is because I either forgot or didn't want to do the filming of the sketch and the line art and the base color because I was watching TV and I was distracted. So this one, there's just the shading, but that still took quite a while, so I had to shade brown eyes again for this one. But the eyes on this one I feel like turned out really good, and the brown actually worked, so I feel like that looks pretty good. The hair shading didn't take near as long as the hair shading with Ari. It was really hard to try to make it look curly though, and I still don't know if I succeeded, but I tried. So I didn't really know what to make Monica doing, so I decided to just do shoulders up because I was ready to go ahead and do the drawing so I could start doing the editing and stuff. And it ended up looking pretty boring with just the shoulders up, so I decided to give it a background, but I didn't show the speed paint of the background because I don't think I wanted to film it, but there it is. So anyway, here's the finished piece. I hope you like it, Spark.